Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday, the 15th of Jumadul Ula, 1445, corresponding with the English date, 30th of November 2023. Hazrat Wala starts off with the ayat of the Quran Majid. قُلْ هَذِهِ سَبِيلِي أَدْعُو إِلَى اللَّهِ عَلَى بَصِيرَةٍ أَنَا وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. Hazrat Wala is saying that it's quite obvious and it's apparent, this kitab here that I have in front of me, speaking about the greatness of this particular kitab and emphasizing on it, it is the tarjuma of Hazrat Tanvi. It is a very brief kitab, and whatever reformatory principles, tajdidi usul, Hazrat Tanvi established, he had taken it from this particular kitab. And this kitab had been prepared in that way. Nevertheless, this kitab here is a great proof for us. Now the matan of this kitab, the original and the essence, is in that of the Arabic language by Ibn Ataullah Iskandari. Now, it's an amazing kitab, fantastic kitab. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on the ta'limat of this kitab. And in that, there would be sukoon, chain and peace for us. So here, the author is saying, أَنَّ الْحَقَّ سُبْحَانَهُ وَتَعَالَى بَسَطَ سِرَّ إِبْرَاهِيمَ عَلَيْهِ الصَّلَاةُ وَالسَّلَامُ بِنُورِ الرِّضَى. You know, the Urdu also is so tremendous, which Hazrat Wala keeps on going over it and repeating it time and again. I mean, in this majlis also so many times. कि जानना चाहिए कि हक़ सुब्हानहु व तआला ने इब्राहिम अलैहिस्सलातु वस्सलाम के क़ल्ब को नूर रिज़ा से मुंबसित कर दिया और उनको रूह इस्तिस्लाम अता फरमाई थी. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala opened up, endowed and bestowed the heart of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam with the nur of his pleasure. And Allah Ta'ala blessed him with the essence of submission. So here, we're speaking about nur. We're speaking about the nur of the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Hazrat Wala is saying that we say Madina Munawwara, and then Hazrat Wala is saying that Munawwara bi anwari Rasulillahi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. It is Munawwara, the city, Medina, the illuminated city. And how come and how is it? بِأَنْوَارِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَسَلَّمْ. It is illuminated due to the nur and because of the nur of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. At that time, there was no type of electricity, there was no type of lanterns, etc. There was no source of light, etc. How we would understand in this modern day and age. There was not one lantern or one type of bulb. But then too, at that time already, it was called Madina Munawwara. Now, in Bombay, one house, each house has bulbs in it, electricity, etc. You know, then too, no matter how much of light apparently it shows, that's how much of darkness it is in. We would never even say for one moment that Bombay Munawwara, never ever. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us acquainted with this type of nur. Yes, the common masses and the common people that's there in its place. But Allah Ta'ala give the khawas, the religious and the ulama the tawfiq as well. So Medina Munawwara, the Noor of Medina Munawwara, the Noor of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allah Ta'ala is Noor se Munawwar hone ki tawfiq farma de. Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of us becoming illuminated with that Noor of Medina, the Noor of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. You know, there was a Buzruk and he was sitting in the Haram. And after some time, another great saintly wali of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes about. He was doing his tawaf. And now when the two meet, the former then tells the latter, "Oh, okay, now I understand. I understood an increase in Noor. Now I understand why it is. It is because of your arrival." Allahu Akbar. Now from this here we understand the capacity and the strength of the Noor of the heart. So we would never say for one moment Bombay Munawwara or Allahabad Munawwara. Never. We would always say Medina Munawwara. And now Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of appreciating this Noor, and in this path whatever deficiencies and weaknesses there are, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala forgive us for that, because there is always a very stern Kara nigra Ma yalfidhu min qawlin illa ladayhi raqibun atid, watching over us. Such a type of a guard and a watchman is watching over us all the time. Allah Ta'ala give us islah ki fikr, apni islah ki fikr paida ho jaye. Allah Ta'ala bless us with the deep concern of islah, rather our own islah. Allah Ta'ala keep us with afiyat, and Allah keep us established on the deen. So we're speaking about Noor-e-Rida, but we are not speaking in any way about the Noor of this light. You know, when Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab went to Mahu, then at that time there, somebody came about and asked that to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, that Hazrat, what is Noor? What is this Noor? Tell us about this Noor. So Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab then went on to speak on the topic of Noor for many long days, continuously, just on Noor. What is Noor? How is Noor? Where is Noor? And he went on to say, this is also Noor, that is also Noor, this is also Noor, and that is also Noor, referring to all these external types of light, artificial light which we say and see and around us. And then he said, but these are not the desired type of Noor. And then he went on to speak about the Noor of Allah, the Noor of Iman. And in those Majlis were great personalities as well, the likes of Hazrat Maulana Habibur Rahman Azmi and others. The Sahabi, with the dua of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it was a mu'jiza from the side of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and in the haqq of the Sahabi it was a karamat, that then wherever he went, they would walk in the darkness, but his lati and his stick had so much of Noor. Now let me tell you about when on the very first occasion when the tape recorder arrived in the Majlis and the grand gathering of Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. Now what was his impression at that time? He went on to say that you people are all happy about this, that this is some great feat and excellence or something great, some great achievement in technology, etc. And you know, he had his own andaz, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab. He said, "Ye kya lakri?" He used to refer to this tape recorder. This piece of plastic and this piece of wood. What can this tape? ما يلفظ من قول إلا لديه رقيب عتيد. Now tell me, can that calculate and can that even capture a person smiling? No, it can't. But that person who out of place laughed or done this or done that, then in Allah's court, that is all captured. All captured and it's kept. So he went on to say, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, you know about this year, that it can capture this and capture that and collect this and tape that and tape the other. But you don't know about مَا يَلْفِظُ مِنْ قَوْلٍ إِلَّا لَدَيْهِ رَقِيبٌ عَتِيد. So there's a whole taqreer on this year. You must check it up, go and have a look at it. It's something worth studying and going over. On one occasion, when Ibn Arabi goes and for tawaf, the umrah, or to carry out the circumambulation of the Kaaba, at that time when he reaches Al-Hajar Al-Aswad and he recites the Shahadatain, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh, then at that time the Hajar Al-Aswad became mumbasit. It opened up so vast, what can I even tell you about that? And it made zabt. It took into it the Shahadatain. Rather, it even uttered and said, I have captured your Shahadatain and I will let it loose and I will open it up and throw it out on the day of Qiyamah. That Shahadatain. Allahu Akbar. I'm reading from this kitab. Years have passed, but it just seems that this kitab is never coming to an end. Meaning there's so much of ulum and ma'arif, just so brief and so mukhtasar. Ashraf Ali, Hazrat Haji Imdadullah says, Ashraf Ali, it was at night also. The time was the time of the night. Ashraf Ali, you translate this kitab. It will be of great benefit to the people. Hazrat Tanvi said that I was not worthy of that, but it was the hukam of my sheikh, so I went on to start translating this kitab. Today we don't even have the ilm of this year. So Allah Ta'ala keep us firm on deen mustaqim. Allah Ta'ala bless us with nur riza. But what to do and how to do, what to say, people cannot even tolerate listening to these talks today. They don't want to. There is such a type of disinterest. Even you would find amongst the people of the madaris, there's no type of yearning and enthusiasm to listen to these type of topics. Now, the great alim and adib of Darul Uloom Deoband at that time, Maulana Zulfikar Sahab, he even went on to say, when he had a look at the tarjuma, the excellence of the tarjuma of Hazrat Tanvi's tarjuma, he went on to say that nobody could have carried out a tarjuma of this caliber other than that of Ashraf Ali. Allahu Akbar. So today, in the singing and dancing music, we seem to get some type of maza aa rahe. You're getting some pleasure out of it. You know how come? And you're not getting maza now. I'm reading from this kitab. You seem to have, you're not getting maza here and pleasure. It seems as if iman ko chuke. That it seems as if your iman, you have lost your iman. So Noor Iman rahegi. So this kitab will remain as well. These articles will remain as well. And people to pass on this type of ulum, ma'arif and knowledge will also remain, even though they may be aqal dar aqal. Even though they may be in the minority. So now we carry on. So Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, Allah Ta'ala opened his heart and placed in it the nur of Riza. Allah Ta'ala blessed him with the essence of submission. Allah protected his heart from turning its gaze to the makhluk, and Allah Ta'ala returned the fire in His regard for him and replaced it, making it peaceful and cool. And this does not happen except for that person who has handed over his heart to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, from submission comes peace. When you hand yourself over to Allah, then you will enjoy peace. And when a person fixes up his batin, then what happens to him? Nothing comes his way other than izzat, ijlal, karamat, and izam. He gets only honor and loftiness and nobility from the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is blessed with that. So correct your internal. So Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, and understand, O believers, that whoever hands himself over to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whenever he is tested, then Allah ta'ala will change those thorns into beautiful roses, and Allah ta'ala will exchange that fear and replace it with peace. Now, if you look at the tarjuma also is so beautiful. Hazrat Wala even quotes and emphasizes and stresses on this point that أَعَادَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ شَوْكَهَا رَيْحَانًا وَخَوْفَهَا أَمَانًا, that Allah Ta'ala khar ko gul और खौफ को अमान कर देता है. Now just look at that. If me or you had to translate that, we would say kanta, the thorns. But look at the translation. Khar ko gul, khauf ko aman. That Allah Ta'ala changed those thorns into beautiful roses and exchanged in place of the fear, Allah put aman and peace. So, when shaitan puts you into the catapult of exam and the entire world comes to you saying that do you have a hajat and a need. Now look at this. When Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, when that fire was heated to such a capacity and to such a level, and he was about to be thrown into that fire, rather he was in mid-air. At that time when Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam came to him and asked him if he needed anything, he said, no, from you, nothing at all. Yes, from Allah. So, yeah, the author is saying that when shaitan puts you into the catapult of exam and the entire world comes to you saying, do you have any needs? Then say at that time, no, from you nothing, but from Allah most definitely. And then if they say to you, then why don't you ask Allah? Say exactly what Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam said, that Allah Ta'ala's knowledge over my condition, about my condition, suffices me from asking Him. So, at that time, Allah Ta'ala will then return the fire of this dunya and exchange it and make it into coolness and peace. And Allah Ta'ala then will bless you with minnat and ikram, with bounties, with gifts, and with honor. Because Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala has opened for the Anbiya alayhimu salatu wasalam the doors of Hidayat. Now, today also, these doors are open. Yes, what can we say? Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam had become for Allah. So then, when he is for Allah and his heart was for Allah, will Allah then burn that heart? No, never. Today, the doors are open as well, but it is because of our own be-nuri and be-imani that we do not perceive anything. Therefore, make that heart right and put your full trust in Allah. Hazrat Wala then quotes the couplets. Bajurme ishq, it is nothing other than my crime. What was my crime? My crime is my love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, due to which I am being tortured, troubled, teased, and this is what is happening to me. Oh Allah, you also come out and see what they are doing to me. The only crime I have committed is nothing other than my love for you. That's why these people are doing this to me. Now you tell me, this is Allah's, and will Allah Ta'ala destroy His thing? We have the knowledge of everything, but we don't have this type of ulum. Now, Maulana Mohammad brought this kitab, and then when I went to Makkah Mukarramah, we started looking for the original, the Arabic of it. Nevertheless, my one Sati went, and about at 2 a.m. in the morning, he brought this kitab. And then I even thought to myself, me and Maulana that's here, that we will translate this kitab. And then I said, no. We will never be able to bring it anywhere near the translation of Hazrat Tanvi, meaning Hazrat wanted to do a talkhis, etc. of it, etc. But this kitab is of such a level that the most we can do here is to make a talkhis of it. The translation is to what a great level. I even went on then to say to the ulama and the students at the madaris there in Gujarat, that after looking at this type of tarjuma and Hazrat Haji Sahib not giving this type of a duty to anyone else than Hazrat Tanvi, what did he do? He said to Hazrat Tanvi, you do this tarjuma. So I said to them that you also create such a type of a capacity and capability in your students that they can transfer the ulum of deen into the different languages and pass it over to the to the masses. You know, some type of knowledge has come from the Arabic language into the Urdu, into the Farsi. And in the Urdu, there is very, very little that has come. Very, very little that has come. So, the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam, Allah Ta'ala had opened up the doors for them. And then behind them, who walks and treads this path? It is none other than the believing people, those who have great yaqeen, like how Allah Ta'ala says, Qul, say, this is my path, hadihi sabili ad'u ilallah, by means of which I call towards Allah. I am upon foresight and insight, myself and whoever follows me. وَمَنِ اتَّبَعَنِي. So the grand masses also follow in the footsteps of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the Anbiya alayhimus salatu wassalam. Now, Allah Ta'ala says regarding the great shan of Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ, we accepted from him, and وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ, and we granted him salvation from his sorrow. وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِلْ مُؤْمِنِينَ, यानी हमने उनकी दुआ कबूल की और गम से नजात दी, और अहले ईमान को हम यूं ही नजात दिया करते हैं. हम उनको इसी तरह नजात दिया करते हैं. Now, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib, so yeah, Allah Ta'ala accepted from him and took him out of grief and sorrow, and this is exactly how we will continue giving salvation to the believing people. हम यूं ही नजात दिया करते हैं. We will continue doing this, and this will be our muamala with the believing people. Now, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to say about this particular ayat that there is nowhere in the Quran Majid where Allah Ta'ala has said regarding any type of ayat other than this particular ayat, this is how we will continue giving salvation to the believing people, other than this particular ayat referring to that wazifa which is read, upon which Allah Ta'ala will continue giving najat. And that wazifa is that of La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minadh dhalimin. Now, if you say La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu minadh dhalimin, that, and you understand yourself that you have wronged yourself and erred and faulted and committed sin, then only, not just if you're reading it customary. If it's customary, then you can read hundreds of thousands of times. So Allah Ta'ala make us acquainted with these realities. In haqa'iq se ashna farmaye. So Allah Ta'ala is saying and speaking about salvation here. Where are you turning and going this way and that way looking for salvation? Now, you don't know about your own commodity. अपने चीज ही को नहीं मालूम. La ilaha illa anta subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. However, दूसरी चीजें को खूब जानते हैं. We know a lot about other things, but about our thing here, La ilaha illa anta subhanaka, we know nothing about it. So Allah Ta'ala continues giving the believing people salvation, those who follow in the footsteps of Yunus alayhi salatu wassalam, those who are so earnest, so thirsty and searching for his nur, those who are looking, who are threading this path, who are looking, they're in the search of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, showing and expressing so much of humbleness and helplessness. They are wearing rather the garments of humility and helplessness. We're talking about in the spiritual sense. Now this bayan is a great bayan for those who are looking for admonition. It is such a great hidayat for the seekers of basirat and insight. And for the one who comes out from this tadbir and putting this together and that together so this can work out and that can work out, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then becomes his planner. Allah becomes his guardian with the best of plan for him. Did you not see and learn from the qissa of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam that he did not put anything into place for himself, neither did he have any concern and worry of it. Rather, he handed over everything to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and put his full trust in him. When that was the matter, then the end result, the result of his submission to Allah was then what coming into existence? Nothing other than that of salama and ikram. And great thana and praise coming the way of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam with the passage of time. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has commanded us that we should not come out from the millat and the path of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, and we should take much consideration of how he had named us and called us, like just how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned here, millata abikum Ibrahim, that this is the millat, the path and the creed of your father Ibrahim alayhi salatu wassalam, huwa sammakumul muslimina min qabl. It was he who has named you with the title of being Muslim. Therefore, it is the haqq and the right of every person who is an Ibrahimi that he becomes free and he absolves himself from any type of tadbir and putting into place plans and this and that and the other. He should absolve himself from all of that, and he should come out from this debate, his debate with Allah, meaning that Allah is doing this for him and he's preparing something else. He is doing this and Allah has got in store something else. وَمَنْ يَرْغَبُ عَنْ مِلَّةِ إِبْرَاهِيمَ إِلَّا مَنْ سَفِهَ نَفْسَهُ. So the millat, what is part and parcel, rather a necessity of this particular millat of Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam in his creed, it is the most important juz and component of it is tafwiz ilallahi ta'ala, that we hand ourselves over completely and totally to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nevertheless, continue with this kitab. Continue with it. There's so much of ulum and ma'arif in it. Because Allah Ta'ala will become pleased with it. What is it the essence of? It is an explanation of the ayat of the Quran Majid and the ahadith of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And if in all of that also you exhaust yourself completely and death comes to you, it will be pleasing to Allah Subhanahu Wa Ta'ala. Now let us make dua. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. اللهم صل على محمد اللهم صل على محمد ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم